The other bone that you want to check for migraines, or for headaches, is the sphenoid bone, and decompressing that. That decompression comes very close to it is in the occipital base, and so that will open up space right near that foramen magnum, the hole in the head where the vertebrae and the nerves come out of. It will give some spacing in there. So if there's nerves that are crimped, they'll be able to give some space to them if they've been compressed in any way. And I'm just doing a basic decompression of the sphenoid bone here. 5 grams of pressure in a decompressed direction. And there's an awful lot of activity. She doesn't have a headache right now, but there's a lot of activity being correcting in there, which will only help her to not have to suffer from that if she's prone to that kind of a symptom. It's really quite phenomenal what the body is capable of doing. Sometimes, especially if you're in hot weather, which seems to be the case this summer, we will get dehydrated. Dehydration can cause a lot of problems in the body. It can cause muscle cramping, and it can cause headaches. Please be sure to stay real hydrated. And if you can, get filtered water. We don't want to be drinking a lot of fluoride that's in most city water. You don't want to drink the fluoride. That is partly the cause of a lot of issues that we have. Do a history on fluoride and you will not be happy what you find. It's very criminal, the very fact that they put it in our water. It's a very toxic substance and we should not be consuming it. But it is in almost all the city water. So if you are going to drink water, please filter it. Some of the bottled water is not trustworthy anymore either. It is full of fluoride as well. They just pull it out of a tap and sell it to you in a plastic bottle, where you're going to get plastic poisoning as well, because if it gets warm, the plastic will leach in. So understanding that there's a lot of things to know to stay healthy, because there are powers, there are forces out there that do not want us to be healthy, because they have built an industry on our lack of understanding, our lack of knowledge, our willingness to want to learn. And as a result, we are supporting a huge business that is not in the business of really getting us better. And if somebody doesn't like that statement, I'm sorry, but the truth has got to be told. And any malice and malfeasance that goes on in these institutions should be called out and should be stopped, because there's a lot of really wonderful things that can be happening with the human body and technology. And I just can't emphasize it enough. We do not need to be sick. That is a big fraud. And we do have to understand that part of our sickness is because of what is in our food, what is in our water, and unfortunately what is in the medications that they give us, telling us that they're going to get us better. So please do your own research on that. Don't believe me, do your own research. And here I am doing some lymphatic work just to drain any kind of fluid. There's a little fullness that she does have here in the water wheel. And the sphenoid bone has corrected quite a bit. I did some neck stretching. I'll do a little bit more where you're pulling to the side and just giving a nice stretch on the neck. You can also feel a lot about what's going on with the vertebrae, how straight the vertebrae is, if they're torqued or twisted. You can really come into sensing a lot of that. when you do that. Okay. Okay, so little techniques like that is what you can do for people with headaches. You would have more time with them than I have right now, and I would go through the complete 10-step protocol for a migraine. But if you don't have much time, release the base, lift the frontal bone, and get the sphenoid bone back balanced on the fulcrum, and you'll do a lot of good just in getting that done for the headaches. If there's pressure headaches, sometimes at the front of the head, not only lifting the frontal bone, but also lifting up the nasal bones, decompressing those oftentimes will also help if there's kind of pressure behind the eyes and that kind of thing. So that'll give you a little bit more of an idea. And as time goes on, and those of you that work in this kind of work, you'll become more developed intuitively if you pay attention to things like that. And that's when the work gets real fun. It gets kind of weird too, because you're not so sure what you're doing all the time, but you're trusting where you're going, and there's always going to be feedback that you were right on the right spot. And then of course, just balancing everything up. Our sphenoid bone is balanced, and she's feeling like she's good. And checking on the occipital base again. Very soft in there, very deep releasing. The fingers go in very nice and deep very quickly. Yep. Okay, thank you. This is Athena Jezik. Please feel free to email me if you have questions, and we will be working more and more to answer the questions that you might have so that your work can improve and you can help people get to feeling better. Thank you. This is Athena Jezik. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. And I think there's a little bell up there that you can hit that you'll get a notification every time we post. So if you want to, you can hit that too. But thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it.